record going and forcing Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals. The TNT crew hits the air at the top of the hour with pregame coverage of Game 6. Kenny Smith will be there, and he's here right now on Game Time. And Kenny, if you could give James Harden a pep talk before the game tonight about what's required of him to close this thing out on the road, what would you say?
No pep talk needed. This is the closeout game to go to NBA Finals, brother. They got Pusha T playing in the stadium. Everybody's excited. There's nothing else going on right now. You don't need a pep talk for this. This guy's he's been to the finals one time, but never in this kind of scenario where he's been the guy. He's got an opportunity to do that. He knows how special it is to be in an NBA final. He understands what the stakes are. It's just sticking with the game plan. And he's played without Chris Paul before, so he understands what that means and what the obligations are. I don't think that I would just talk about game plan and what it would be. I wouldn't talk about what he has to do individually, but more what the team has to do, because Mike D'Antoni's only played 7 guys, and now he only has 6 that he trusts.
Well, Kenny, you said they're playing that Pusha T in the arena. Kevin Durant might need to put that Drake in his headphones so he can go out there and eat the Houston Rockets. What does Kevin Durant need to do better in the fourth quarter of these games? The last couple games he's been missing.
Well, I would say, if you look at the film, is it because he's off because he's taking shots that he's uncomfortable with, or is he off because he's taking shots that he feels comfortable with? And if you feel comfortable in that environment, you take the same shot and the same approach, because he's such a great shooter, they will go down. But if he feels he's doing something uncharacteristic, then you have to change. But I don't think he is. I think he's missing shots that we've seen him knock down time in and time before. I would say that he can become a better drop-off guy. Like right there, Draymond Green was open right there, where he can just make that shot. He's going to make 9 out of 10 times. But I think he can make other guys better a little bit. These are shots that he normally makes. But every now and then when he gets into the paint, he doesn't find the drop-off guy like he had been finding all through his career, really.
Kenny, everyone assumes that Houston is going to lose this Game 6 game without Chris Paul, and we'll go back to Houston for Game 7. But what does Houston need to do? We know Eric Gordon's going to start. We know he's a capable scorer. But collectively, without Paul on the court, what do you feel, and with and Harden as well having to play better, but what do they have to do to go and get this game and move on to the finals?
Well, I think collectively everyone would have thought, even if Chris Paul was playing, that the Golden State Warriors would win this game. I think that would have been the consensus. I think overall for the Rockets, James Harden, I think, does play individually better without Chris Paul at times. But he doesn't play, the team isn't better, because Chris Paul can finish games more often when James may be tired or can't. So, but individually, I think he passes more when Chris isn't there. Because when Chris is there, he says, I get it, it's my turn to score. But early in the, without Chris, he finds other guys, he gets them involved a little bit earlier, and then he kind of knows that he's always going to have the basketball. So I don't think you worry about James. I think you're going to see a lot more Quentin Capella in pick-and-roll situations instead of the ISO situations. So you'll see a lot more pick-and-rolls, I believe, in this game, if you're the Rockets, than you've seen throughout this series.
For Golden State, it's not been the same offense we've been able to enjoy over the last few years, largely because of what Houston's done defensively, and the numbers show us what our eyes tell us. Fewer passes, fewer assists as well. Is it important that they get back into sort of their flow offense, or just be better at what Houston is allowing them to do?
See, I wouldn't even say, and Grant and Brenda can weigh in on this, I'm not even sure if it's the defensive prowess that's making them do that, but the fact that they're switching and then they go, we have a mismatch. We have a guy who can't guard our guy in this scenario. So I'm not sure, again, if it's just that Houston does a great job defensively and they're making you take uncomfortable shots. A lot of it, in my estimation, is that they switch everything and then they say, well, Kevin Durant should be able to take Chris Paul in the block. Oh, Steph Curry should be able to take, Capella out on the floor, or Reza on the floor. So they then ISO. I think it's the style of play where Steve says, No, we're going to run our play regardless. Our movement and our ball movement, regardless of who's on whom, that's what we need to do. And I think they would get back to that more than anything else.
It'll be fun to see it play out. Pre-game at the top of the hour with Kenny and the crew from Oakland. Good to talk to you. Enjoy Game 6.
Thank you, sir. Brendan.